All right, good morning everyone. I'm glad you came here today and thanks for visiting me, whether you're looking at me at video or wherever. Welcome to the CARE program, and I prepared this presentation today for you in order to help you to prepare to visit your preceptor. It's getting close to advising time. That'll be the end of October, or if you're watching this in the spring, it'll be the end of March that you prepare to visit your advisor. So in order to do that, we at Stockton care about you so much that we actually set aside 2 days each term to visit your preceptor. So on those days we don't have classes, so contact your preceptor and schedule an appointment with them. And this whole presentation will be how you can prepare rather than just going into your advisor and saying, what do I do? What do I pick? I want to show you really how to analyze your degree audit and to find out what you need on your own. So if you go on your Go portal, under the Student Services tab, right in the middle on the bottom, it will list your advisor. Now make sure the term is the proper term because you might have changed your preceptor from one term to the other, and we welcome you to change your preceptor. In order to do that, for everything in Stockton, there is a form. The forms are located in Academic Advising, which is in the new campus center at the top of the stairs. So here's our student's advisor, preceptor, same word, for this semester. So suppose you can't find where your preceptor is, just go back to the home page, and up on the top of the home page you'll see Contact Directory. Now if you click on Contact Directory, you can look for your preceptor by first name or by last name and find out their office hours. You can even email them. You can email them from your portal as well as from the Contact Directory. So now we talked about your preceptor, let's talk about you. All your credits, maybe you're a transfer student, your credits have been placed into a degree audit. That means it shows what you took in transfer from another school, what you took at Stockton, and how they meet your degree requirements, because your ultimate goal is to graduate. And we hope you graduate with 128 credits. Students cannot graduate with less. Transfer students sometimes graduate with a little more than 128, or maybe you've changed your major a few times. 128, 29, up to 32, 35 is okay. So this is what the top of the cap looks like. 128 credits to graduate. And it's using, this particular cap is using 76 credits in transfer and in courses that you are registered for this semester. So note those two things, always 128 credits to graduate, and what courses are you going to use. So, do you feel confused now? I do, and well, who's going to help me? What am I going to do about this? So let's lay the foundation. The foundation of all courses has to be strong so that you don't have, that your foundation doesn't topple. You don't want to save all the hard courses for the end of your career. You need to build a strong foundation, and to do that, I always believe that students should begin with quantitative reasoning requirements. Quantitative reasoning is another word for problem solving. You are problem solving when you go to your own cap. You're problem solving to figure out what you need at what time you need it. Stockton is a liberal arts college, and liberal means free, so it might seem like a free-for-all. It doesn't say, the cap doesn't say take this in this order, that order, the other order, because we want you, the student, to think for yourselves. So the strong foundation for any major comes with math. And do you know you must have at least one actual math course to graduate from Stockton, depending on your major. Now your major might be communications. You can get by with one math, maybe a pretty easy math called survey of math, or a little more challenging called algebraic problem solving. Even a math called quantitative reasoning, there's that problem solving word in there, is good enough to fill out one of your Q1s. Q1, in other words, means math. Now, a Q2 is usually a research course, or it may be within your major. Possibly you're a business student and you're doing economics, or even you art students have to take photography. When you do photography, you figure out, you problem solve the aperture, the perspective of the film. Those courses are Q2 courses. Now we're going to take a look at a student's cap that I have on file here. And we're going to go right to how to run the cap. So here on the Student Services website, always look in the up-hand corner. See my mouse moving around there in the arrow, and I'm looking for degree evaluation. There's that word CAP, C-A-P-P. And I'm going to do fall 2015, and here is where you see your major. Maybe it's your first semester and you thought your major was business, but look here, it says undecided. So in this case, we're going to have to do a what-if analysis. Focus your eyes on the bottom of the screen. If your major's in place and it's correct, we would say generate new evaluation. But in this case, we're going to do a what-if analysis. So this is a nice way to find out every major we have here at Stockton. Pick your term first. And now you can see every major. Scroll up and down. And every major here at Stockton. Now I'm going to go with Communication Studies today. And next I click Continue because I have no other choice. Once again, it'll ask me the major. Am I sure? Communication Studies. Yes, I am sure. Now, when you visit your preceptor with a Communication Studies major, you'll find out that Communications has 3 different concentrations. If you are listening to this video like you are today, let's always click Add More to see what else we can do with our Communications major. And it has here a thing called a concentration. So, in Communications Studies, there are 3 concentrations. Now, if you're a crim major, there's about 3 or 4 concentrations. If you're a business major, there's about 5 concentrations. Many majors have concentrations, but not all. And in this case, we're just going to go with the general media studies. And here, if we wanted to add a minor, we can say add more. Now, you can choose up to 2 minors and look at them all, up and down. Many minors to choose from. We're not going to bother with a minor today. We're just going to say submit. And now I'm actually ready to generate new evaluation. I'm at the bottom of the screen. And what happened? We went back to undecided. So let me kind of go back again. Okay, Communication Studies, and I want to go over on the left bottom corner and say Generate Request right there. Now this takes only a moment, and on this menu item I always say give me the details. I really want to know everything there is to know about my CAP. So at the very top I'm going to highlight catalog term here. That this student came in the fall, and because she did a what-if analysis, it did register fall. If she was a previous semester, it would register the semester in which you, the student, or whoever came. So I'm going to go right to the bottom up. Think of that. Quantitative reasoning. Now this student has taken a course called quantitative, so next to the Q1 it says yes, with a C for a grade there, and the student needs 2 other Qs to complete the quantitative reasoning portion. So this is where you write your first question down that you're going to visit your preceptor. What other Q2s can I get from communication? And I know there's only one Q2 within communications, and I'm going to show you how to find that. What if you're a crim major? What if you're an accounting major? How do you find something by its attribute? And by attribute, I mean Q's or W's for writings, or even the outcomes, which we'll talk about in a few moments. I'm going to go to Look Up Classes and select my term. And then I'm going to go right away to advanced search because it helps me to look at more classes at once. Now, if I get in this search box and I just type a C, it shoots me down to communications. If I hit that C a few times, I get to communication studies. But what I want to know is the attribute type. So over here on the left, I'm going to click in this box and go not to Q1s, but Q1s and Q2s. And I can do that by holding my thumb or my finger down on the control key. It lets me select more than one attribute. So let's go to section search here. And here is the one course which is a Q for communication students. Now I know this is a computer class, and again, you'll be problem solving. You'll be figuring things out when you're looking for this. After Qs, we have prerequisites for a course. Now it's very again, we're building our foundation and one thing leads to another. So to support our math foundation, we don't want to take chemistry first. We don't want to take biochemistry if you're a science student. You have to build that foundation with strong math skills. Oh, I don't like math, but math is more than just math when you were doing it in high school, but it's your problem solving ability. You're going to learn graphs and x equals y in the algebra class, and you might not think they mean anything in the real world, but they do. They help you to figure out problems. These problems will help you solve chemical equations, and the chemical equations will help you when you're studying anatomy and physiology. So here's a picture of a lookup screen, and I looked up pre-calculus math. So how do I see the prerequisite? I click on the blue CRN number. CRN stands for CRN course reference number, the CRN number. Now in this case, because it's fall, it begins with 8 and 8 is August. Does that make sense for fall? Somewhat. When we look at the prerequisite and we click on the CRN number, we'll get the title, Pre-Calculus Math, and we'll click on that. And it will give us in the lower left-hand corner all the prerequisites for pre-calculus. So it seems like there's a lot, and there's certain courses that you might have taken as a student. I remember our last communications student only took quantitative reasoning, but that's not a prerequisite for pre-calculus math. The student would need to go on to a higher level course. Remember, we're building steps like an algebraic problem solving or an intermediate algebra. But there's another way. Some of you might be freshmen this term and you didn't pick math last term. You may have had an SAT score of 550 or better, or an ACT score of 24 or better, and you're allowed to register for pre-calculus. The computer knows that you took it because when you sent your scores in, they were entered into the computer. That's how we see prerequisites. Now we're going to talk about the writing requirement, and this what makes Stockton a very good school because we have 4 writing requirements rather than just English Comp 1 and 2. We developed your writing, your rhetoric, your composition, your grammar, your syntax, but we also develop your advanced writing, your research. Now here's a picture of a student's cap, and I have it kind of expanded for you that you can see there's 4 writings. Writing 1 versus writing 2. What does that mean? Well, 1 comes before 2, so a writing 1, which all students must have at least one writing 1, a writing 1 gives you more instruction about how to write, and a writing 2 means you're confident, you're adept at writing, and you'll probably be required to write a paper within something in your major. Now, before we go to the core courses, let's go back to an actual Go portal. And again, I'm going to use the acronym communications. And I'm going to go to Lookup Class. Once again, choose the fall. And here, remember I said Advanced Search. And this time, I'm going to look up every writing course we have in Stockton. Here I go, selecting the whole thing, the whole subject material. Then I'm going to scroll down to the attribute type. Get in the search box and type a W. Now here I have W1s. That's an introductory writing course, or how to write about things. So we're going to see writing from many different areas, and the first area I happen to see is communications. Well, this would be great for the communications student. I'm going to scroll over a little to the right-hand side and hover around the Writing 1 so you can see that that's a Writing 1 course. There are many, many other writing courses. Some of them are called FIRST, F-R-S-T. Now, a FIRST is a general studies course in disguise. It's not lesser or greater. It's just a course that is meant for freshmen only. So if you're beyond 32 credits, you are a sophomore. You don't need to take a FIRST course. But we'll see a course called Rhetoric and Composition. And if we keep going further and get into the actual G courses, general studies courses, we'll see Argument and Persuasion. And if I go down to GEN, here's this Rhetoric and Composition will come up again, and Argument and Persuasion. So there's lots of general studies courses. Let's look at a prerequisite. Here's a writing, but it's under the acronym of health. To see the prerequisite, we click on the CRN number, the blue title, and down in the left-hand corner, here it says you must be a health major to take this course, and you also need not one but 2 health classes before you can take this course. Now, the general writings won't give you a prerequisite, but now you know how to see it, and you saw how to look for a prerequisite in action. Now we're going to talk about the core classes, and we could say program classes, and we could say major classes, and that all means the same thing. So I really want you to study your program classes, study your CAP, and look on the left-hand side where it will say yes and no. You've completed this, you haven't completed this. Now here's your second question you're going to ask the preceptor. Do I need to take these classes in this exact order? Or should I be taking one before the other? Because all courses are not, they don't go linear. You can pick and choose from courses. This actual concentration is a business concentration. And if I went down in order, it looks like I would need microeconomics next, and that's fine, or maybe managerial accounting. Yes, I could actually take both of those at the same time. There's another course after that called quantitative business. That's an important class to take once you've completed statistics. You wouldn't really know this unless you visit your preceptor. So again, I encourage you to visit your preceptor after studying so you can ask, instead of what do I take, do you think I should take this or that, or I had in mind to plan this and that. What do you, preceptor, think about that? You can have a dialogue. Your involvement with your preceptor is your only chance to have a one-on-one relationship with a faculty member, or maybe you'll be with one of us in academic advising. So core is major. Along with major, within your major are cognate courses. Now think of the word cognate like cogs in a wheel. They go together. So cognates are related classes. What's related to psychology? Oh, all kinds of things like sociology and social work and economics. They are other courses from the School of Social and Behavioral Science. You might hear that acronym SOBL a lot, and that's what it stands for. Now, if you're an accounting major, a related course, a cognate course would probably, and it is actually, economics. For a bio major, your cognates would be physics and even maybe marine science and chemistry and the dreaded math. But math, again, is your foundation. Don't forget what I said. Again, Stockton is a liberal arts college. Liberal is free, and when we want you to be free, we also want you to be well-rounded. So, to graduate from Stockton, you must have one arts course, even you computer sciences majors, one history course, one values or ethics course, and one international course. Look here on the side, I have it, A, H, V, and I's. So we call those outcome requirements. Now, if you're a science major, it's pretty difficult to fill these outcome requirements. So many times you have to look to your general studies courses and look for outcomes. Let's take a look at that. Back to look up classes. And now, in fact, you can look up classes by acronym. We're going to go to the advanced search to do that, select every darn course Stockton has to offer, and go to the bottom left-hand corner, attribute type. Let me look up the art courses. At first, you will see courses in the actual arts. Computer as an art tool. We'll see courses like dance, theater. They all have arts acronym. How do you know? Let's scroll over all the way on the right, and I see the arts acronym. Let me go back. So maybe you're a physics major and you don't have a lot of room in your curriculum for an arts course. Then get your arts acronym within your G General Studies courses. Here we have a nice selection, and the selection changes all the time. Did you know your G courses are a chance for you to get to know faculty that you would never meet otherwise? Here's Christopher DeSanto. He's a music professor. You physics majors would never get the chance to meet him, but if you took the simple Intro to Music as a G course, there's your art attribute. Lots of G courses even. Here's something teachers might be interested in, the urban teacher. It has an art attribute, so it must tell you the value of art is in teaching. Even our engineering majors have an art attribute in their engineering and CAD class, but you don't need it to be an engineer to take that course. So that's a little bit about the attributes. A for arts, H for history, V for values and ethics, and I for an international course. So now we have this strange title called At Some Distance Courses. And at some distance could be called free electives at other school, but we really don't want to call them free. We want you to choose carefully and fulfill your attributes, and we want these courses to be non-related to your major, because no matter what your major is, we want you to be well-rounded. We want you to challenge yourself and take things that you may have the remotest interest in, or even if you're not interested in them and you need a course at 10 o'clock on Tuesdays, take something that you might not, oh, I didn't think I would be interested. Challenge yourself. It's your chance to do it now. The At Some Distance courses will change whether you're studying a Bachelor of Art, which is a pie cut in half. When you cut that pie in half, half of that half is general studies, the G courses, and the other half, 32 credits, which is 8 courses, are at some distance. So you have a lot of room for a minor there. When you're in a Bachelor of Science, and don't think of science just as natural science, but science could be social work, science could be a Bachelor of Fine Art. It's the same thing as a Bachelor of Science. Bachelor of Science could be business. Bachelor of Science, your distribution, your pie, comes out to 2/3 versus 1/3. And within that 1/3, you only have 16 credits of those at some distance courses. So it's a little more difficult to fit a minor in there. So here's what the general studies courses are. If you're a transfer student, our freshmen have to take 8 general studies courses. One of these, 2 of these, 2 of these, 1 of these, 2 of these. But don't worry, just read your cap. It will change if you transfer in courses, whether you transfer them in now or maybe you go to summer school and take courses at another school. If you take more than 16 credits, your general course distribution will change. So the more transfer courses you bring in, the less general studies you have to take. Don't worry, the cap figures it out for you. Now, once you have all that knowledge and you have studied your cap, this is what I encourage you to do. I do mine on an Excel sheet, I'm freaky about that. I do everything on an Excel sheet. But you can just put lines on a piece of paper, write it in your notebook, on your computer, whatever you choose, but plan. Don't just open and see what's open and closed and pick classes just all over the place, but actually plan. And if you look at this carefully, you'll see that I started to plan, and I have 3 biology labs, and then I have 2 biology lectures. When you take a lab and a lecture at Stockton, you have to give it a lot of thought. You must register for a lab and a lecture at the same time because they go together. When you, a lot of times the labs and the lectures are on different days of the week, so I always choose those first and try to coordinate my times. Now the next course I picked was a writing course, and I put the attribute. We just talked about those attributes, and I put mine in red on this spreadsheet. And I put the times and days, but I gave myself, especially you freshmen, when you're registering this October, you're going to register about November 5th or 6th. And you'll say, oh, everything's closed. But here is the key to success: persistence. Have plan B, have plan C, and schedule your classes right at the time when you're allowed to schedule them. Don't worry, that schedule can be altered. Once everybody registers, then people change their mind like crazy. And as we get closer to the start of the semester, classes are open and close. Be persistent to get the schedule you want, to get the schedule you need. Consult with your preceptor, consult with professors. Try not to consult with your roommate and your buddies in the lunch cafeteria, because a lot of times they give you the advice they followed, but how do we know how successful they are? So try to get the voice of reason from an authority figure, from somebody in academics. So I wish you good luck in selecting your classes, and thank you for your time today. And now, if you feel like this, visit Academic Advising. Here we are, right at the top of the stairs in the campus center. Go up the steps, 2nd floor. This is our Nicole, receptionist. She's there to welcome you and sign up for an appointment. We'd be happy to meet with you. We are skilled at every major Stockton has to offer. So we hope to see you, and we hope you feel like this now: there is no place home. I'm glad Stockton's my home.